everyone, welcome to our channel, Rebecca, Stu, and the crew. Today we have some really fun Dollar Tree DIYs for you guys, so let's go over the supplies to make project number 1. We're going to be using some red and white yarn from the Dollar Tree. We'll also need some cardboard. We'll need some twine. I'm going to be using some beads and buttons. We'll need some greenery and berries. Really anything is optional. It's just for embellishing the craft. We'll need some foam sheets and a pom-pom maker. And then some scissors and some hot glue. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to cut about a 1/2 inch piece off of the end of the cardboard tube. And cut as many as you want for however many you want to make. And then we're going to cut some strips of yarn. The easiest way to get a bunch of them the same size is to wrap them around a piece of cardboard. This is a 5x7 chalkboard. We're just going to wrap the yarn around it about 50 times because I'm going to make 2 of these. And then we will cut the yarn right up the middle to get all of our pieces the same size. Now we're going to take our yarn and we're going to fold it in half, put it through the tube, pull the ends through that loop that we created and pull it tight to make a slip knot. And then we'll keep working this way all the way around the tube. Now you really want to make sure that as you're working, you're going to keep sliding the yarn close together so you have it really nice and tight together so there's no gaps, and it will fill in the top portion of our hat. Now, these are actually going to be ornaments, but the way I make them, you can actually stand them up as well, so you don't have to hang it if you don't want to. They can be used either way. I don't show myself adding the hanger to the top, but it's really easy. You just tie a hanger around the top portion of the hat where the pom-pom is. So now you're just going to take all of those strings once you're done and tuck them into the hat and fold them upwards. Fix all the strands and then take another piece of yarn and you're going to tie off the top of the hat nice and tight to create a pom-pom at the top. And then you're just going to trim it up. Make your pom-pom look nice. Now if you want to, you can stuff the hat. So I'm going to take a piece of tissue and I am just going to stuff the hat. Like I said, these can stand or you can just hang them from the tree. I want these to stand. So I think stuffing the hat helps it to just hold its shape a little bit better over time. So now we're going to take the smallest of the pom-pom makers from Dollar Tree. We're going to open up half of it and we're going to start wrapping the yarn around the half circle. You really want to make sure that you fill in this half circle as full as you can get it to create a nice full pom-pom. As you can see, I just keep working my way back and forth across the half circle, making sure I have a nice even layer of yarn on both sides and in the center. And then I know I'm done filling in this side of the pom-pom maker once that whole middle part of the circle is filled in and the yarn is straight across level with that bottom edge. When I'm done filling in this side, I'll just fold it up, open the other end. I leave the yarn on it. I don't cut it and start over. And then you just wrap the other side the same way. Then you'll cut the strands right through that center before tying it off. Now we'll take another piece of yarn and we're going to tie that right through the middle of the pom-pom maker before we pull it apart. And you'll wrap this around a few times and make sure you have a nice double knot to hold all of this together. Then you can pop open your pom-pom maker here. It's a little bit hard sometimes to get off once all the strands are cut kind of fluffy. And then for this one, you'll have to grab both sides and pull it apart. And then you just need to trim up the pom-pom and get it nice and even all the way around. Once we have it all trimmed up, we're going to attach it to the hat. We're just going to add some hot glue around the brim of the hat and attach the pom-pom. You don't want to push it in too far because you don't want all of this to disappear up inside of the hat. Now take a small wood bead, a small dot of glue, and just attach your bead where the nose would be. Now we'll add some embellishments. I'm going to take a small piece of twine and make a very simple bow. I'm going to add 2 little pieces of greenery. And then we'll add a button to the middle of the bow. Now I want to make some feet. We're just going to use some craft foam and create basically like a circle with a little notch cut out of the top. And I'm going to cut out 2 of these because I made 2 of the ornaments. And then we'll add some hot glue to the top and then set our gnomes right on top of the feet. So again, these will stand, or you can use the hanger. They're very, very simple and easy to make, and look how cute they turn out. I just love these so much. So now for craft number 2, the supplies, we're going to use these wood rings from Dollar Tree. They come in 2 different sizes. We'll need either some nautical rope or some more yarn. It's really up to you what you want to fill these in with. We'll use some beads from the jingle bells that they have. I just pulled the beads off. We'll need scissors and hot glue. So let's get crafty. So we're going to basically do the same thing that we did with the rings of the hat, but instead we're going to use the wood ring that we're going to fill in all the way around using that slip knot. And I chose to use this really pretty green for our first one. I think it took about 30 strands of the yarn. You don't want to cut them too big because we're actually going to trim this up quite a bit, and we need to comb out the yarn, so less is more. You don't want it super long and have to comb out all of the strands to make it fluffy and then end up cutting off like 60%. So don't make it too long. So as you can see, I'm just taking a comb and I am combing through the yarn to separate the strands. It takes a little while, it's a little bit time consuming, but I get it to where I like it. And I'm just taking some masking tape and using that as a template to kind of hold down the ornament and then trim around it to create a nice circle. You can really just eyeball it, doesn't have to be perfect. You just want all the strands to be about the same length. So as you can see, I still had to trim it up a little bit. It was a little bit too long still for me. So I just keep working my way around the circle, making sure that it's all nice and even. And now we can start decorating our wreath ornament. Once we have this all trimmed up here. So I took some twine and I'm going to add a bow. This is just the hanger. We're just going to add that to the top. Just a piece of yarn that we tie into a loop. So as you can see, I take some red twine and make a bow, and I just add that to the wreath and then cut apart those beads that we showed earlier. And we're just going to glue them around our wreath ornament. I think I put about 4 of the gold beads on the wreath ornament for the green one. And here's what it looks like all finished. Super easy. Kids could do these if they wanted to. They're really, really easy to make. So now we'll take that nautical rope and we're going to basically do the same thing, except for we just untwisted like the different strands of the nautical rope and then cut off a piece, and then we're separating all the strands from that piece of rope. So as you could see, one strand of the rope, I pulled it apart and I think I got like 7 pieces out of each one. So I left them pretty thick, and you want to leave them together to start. And we're just going to loop these around the wood ring just like we did with the last one. So we're just going to keep filling it in until we get all the way around our wood circle. And again, you want to push these strands together pretty tight so you don't have any large gaps in between the yarn. That's what I'm doing here. I'm just sliding all of those pieces together and then keep combing them out as best you can to keep them straight and to keep them from getting tangled. And then we will use our comb to comb out the strands like we did with the yarn. This one's a little bit easier because they're not really twisted together the same way that the yarn is all twisted together when it's made. And now we'll just trim around it. You just want to make sure all the strands are about the same length. If you pull them straight out from the ring and cut them about the same length, then you'll end up with a circle. And you won't have to worry about it being, kind of like all different sizes all the way around. Just make sure they're straight out from the ring as you cut around. And then you can, of course, comb it out some more and trim it up a little bit better. Once you have it all trimmed up and you have a nice circle the way you like it, you can start adding your decorations to it. So I took some of that green yarn that we used for the last wreath, and I made a bow out of that. And we're just going to glue that to the front. And then we'll glue some more of those gold beads to the front. We've already added the hanger here so that we can use this as an ornament. And here's where that one looks like all finished. So here's the first 4 things that we've made. Now for the last one, the supplies we're going to need is one of these wood stems, the gold beads. We'll need some yarn and the largest pom-pom maker that you have, and some twine to decorate with those gold beads, and of course the yarn, hot glue, and scissors. So let's get crafty. So this one's really easy as well. We're really just going to make the largest pom-pom that we can make with the pom-pom maker. Now I have this pom-pom maker from Hobby Lobby. It comes in a set of, I think, 4 different pom-poms. The large pom-pom maker from Dollar Tree will make a very similar size pom-pom. I think it's just a tad smaller than the one I'm going to get by using this pom-pom maker. So as you can see, we're just wrapping that yarn around the pom-pom maker just like we did with the other one, and you just keep filling it in until that circle is completely flat with that bottom edge. Once you have it all the way filled in and it's flat all the way across, you're just going to close up the circle and then cut all of the strands right through the center. And now take a piece of twine or some extra yarn, and you're just going to tie this around the center a few times, nice and tight, and then you can go ahead and open up your pom-pom maker and take it off. So now we're going to just trim this to look like a Christmas tree. So we're going to make sure that the top is going to end up in a point, and we leave it wider at the bottom. And at the very bottom, we cut it flat so it looks like it has a flat base. It takes a little while. Just work slowly and work your way around and take off a little bit at a time and just keep shaping it as you go. You're basically making a cone shape. It's really easy. Just take your time. You'll want to keep fluffing it up as you go to make sure you don't have any stragglers that you've missed as you're cutting. And now we'll take that flat end that we made and we'll glue it to the wood stem. And we'll just pop this on right in the center and hold it in place until it's dry. And again, you can trim this up some more once you've got the stem on and you want to make sure that that bottom is nice and even. But you see, we just made a cone shape out of a pom-pom. Now we're going to take a small twine bow and add that to the top of our tree. And then add some more of the gold beads so all of our pieces coordinate together. And we'll just glue these little beads in different spots all around the tree to decorate it. And here's what it looks like so far. We've got the front decorated. We'll finish adding some more beads to the back. You can really add anything you like to these. And here's our tree all done. So easy. I love this tree so much. Our little gnomes and our wreath ornaments. So fun, so easy to make, and very inexpensive. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And here are some other videos from our channel you might also enjoy. Have a great day, everyone.